It is time for session 3, day 2 of the finals here in York, Pennsylvania at the York YMCA for the Mack 2019 Swimming Championships. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Moore, and this morning I'll tell you what, it was a really good preliminaries for all of these teams. Overall, at the end, obviously 2 heats per section. This morning we did the women's 500-yard freestyle preliminary along with the men's. The women's 200-yard IM along with the men's, as well as the women's 50-yard freestyle with the men's. And I'll tell you, that provided some really good racing in the pool, especially when you got to that women's 50-yarder. Now, these will all be finals here today. The top 16 in time will be split between a B and A final, as well as tonight, after the 50, we will have the women's 200-yard freestyle relay, as well as the men's 200-yard freestyle relay. So at the end of the night, we will be officially through 12 events. So as we get ready, we're doing introductions here. If you missed the second session this morning, let's cover the standings for you for today. The women, they're going to go first. So why don't we take a look at the women's standings. Messiah, they lead. They have 74 points coming into today. Again, they're looking for their 6th straight Mack title as a team in a row. Stevenson, they're in second right now with 64 points. Arcadia with 58, sitting in third. Kings as well. It's a 4-way tie for third, in fact. Kings has 58, as well as Misericordia and Widener. Then you got to go back all the way to 48 points total. 10 points behind third place is Albright. They have 48. Lycoming has 46. Wilkes with 34. They sit in 9th. Lebanon Valley with 28 in 10th. And then there's a tie right now for 11th as Hood and FDU both have 22 points apiece. So get ready, we'll cover the men's standings real quick. Albright with 74 points, a 2-point lead over Arcadia. King 62 points, Messiah 58. Widener, they're in 5th with 56, Wilkes 52. It's neck and neck essentially from spots 2 to 5. Wilkes, as well as mentioned, 52 points. Hood with 42. Lycoming 40. FDU 34. Misericordia, who had a DQ yesterday, with 30, and Lebanon Valley with 28. So we will head now as we get ready for the B final here, Heat 1 of the women's 500-yard freestyle. But first we'll have the national anthem. So now we get ready for Heat 1 after the national anthem. Let's take a look at who will be representing each school here in Heat 1. Rebecca Brown, the junior out of Arcadia. She had a preliminary of 5:29.79. Kaylee Allen, 5:27.47 out of Arcadia as well. Hannah Redding of Kings, she's a freshman, 5:24.14. the fastest time, Mary Nikolsky here of the B final. She is from Misericordia, a freshman, 5:23.42. Eva Patridge, a 5:24.01. She's out of Widener, a senior. Mollie Martin, the senior, out of, I apologize there, out of Messiah, 5:26.42. Bailey Babarski out of Arcadia, junior, 5:27.63. Maggie Yount out of Misericordia, sophomore, 5:33.58. We'll have 2 heats overall. The A final is next. They test the siren. Good day for the finals today. Yesterday we had some technical difficulties, but a great job by the Mack technical crew to get everything fixed. Get up in the boards here in just a moment. Right now, again, Messiah, they lead in the women's standings over Stevenson. Stevenson, though, they only have 1 swimmer in this entire event between the 2 heats, and that is Izzy Ramsland. She will be in Heat 2 in lane 6. We'll talk about more about those swimmers in the A final. We have some pretty good stats for you there for that event of the women's 500-yard freestyle. So the overall time to beat is Nancy Ziggler's time, who will also be in Heat 2 of a 5:10.43. The fastest time of this section was a 5:23.42 by Nikolsky. Nikolsky with the win earlier on the day in her preliminary. Looks to come out. By the way, there was 2 alternates, Veronica Bennett of Misericordia and Sarah Wolf as well. And we'll get ready. Let's see if they'll let them up here. I believe they have everything set. 5:57 p.m. Right now we're 3 minutes ahead of the projected starting time. So let's see if they'll let them start earlier now or if we're waiting till the 6 p.m. mark. Crowd still coming in here, packing in. It was a packed house this morning at 10 a.m. for the preliminaries here, and it's an even more of a packed house here tonight. Fans from all around between these 23 women's and men's programs here to support their teams. And I'll tell you, a bunch of Messiah and Albright fans in the house between their men's and obviously women's programs for Messiah. Again, Messiah looking for their 6th championship in a row here in the Mack as a team. Albright looking to make it 8 of their last 9. As the crowd cheering on their swimmers, trying to pump everything up. And I'll tell you, this is what sets the tempo for the night. We saw the first race yesterday in the 200-yard relay, medley relay. Really set a good tone for the night. Everyone was beating personal bests and also qualification bests throughout the day. Very few swimmers didn't beat their personal best times. The Mack Swimming Championship brings the best out of all these swimmers. They're up. They will get set. And we're underway. So they will go up and down this pool 20 times. And they will start off early here. It's right now neck and neck between Redding and Nikolsky. Redding, the freshman out of Kings. Nikolsky out of Misericordia as well, a freshman. They're still neck and neck, about 4 to 5 swimmers. The first one to lead, though, at the end of it, Mollie Martin, as the Messiah senior takes the lead here as they head towards lap 3. They'll touch. It looks to be right now neck and neck between lane 3 and 6, Redding and Martin. Redding, again, we mentioned a freshman out of Kings, but Martin just slightly out ahead. About maybe 0.2 of a second. They'll flip around that time, and it's still Martin in front. But as they come back up to take lap 5. It looks like now pushing ahead is Redding. The freshman had a really good showing in her preliminary. She would love to get a B final win here today. But now she's starting to fade a little bit. Newcomer to second place as Martin goes back to the lead. Actually, Martin may lose it now as a new leader, Nikolsky. We talked about Nikolsky, fastest time in the preliminaries coming into this for the B final, a 5:23.42 for the freshman out of Misericordia. They took lap 7 and they'll come back around. They'll have 2 more times up and down to which they reach 2:50. But right now it's Nikolsky taking command of the lead. She has about a 2-second lead over second place, and it's neck and neck for second between lanes 2 through 6. It's anyone's race. I mean, it's as close as it can get. You can't tell between lane 5 and 6, which are just slightly ahead, who is in second. But Nikolsky flips back around. She will take halfway when she touches the other end of the pool here for lap 10. Nikolsky expanding the lead is the freshman out of Misericordia. She flips back around, the lead continuing to expand. And we talked about it earlier. It's around that 200, 250 mark that fatigue really starts to kick in. We've seen in the preliminaries earlier today a lot of leads getting blown towards the end due to tiredness. And this is one of them here in this freestyle where you're giving it everything you can. But Nikolsky right now out to a lead, and it's still neck and neck between 3 swimmers for second. There at the line that time, it was Kaylee Allen in second of Arcadia. They continue to cheer. They now reach the 13th lap. They will hit the sign and turn back around. 7 laps to go. But it is Nikolsky who is looking dominant. She was the favorite to win this Heat B after setting a very strong tempo this morning. She just missed out of making the A final. And she extends it to about a 4-second lead. In second place right now, Kaylee Allen closing in a little bit. But the question is, does she have enough time to catch Nikolsky? 5 laps to go. I'll tell you, earlier today, it seemed to be a 2 or 3 man race. But one slip up from Nikolsky, she completes now lap 16, coming for 17. One slip up can mean the difference as Nikolsky of Misericordia pushes up to take 3 laps to go. Allen is making a run, the Arcadia senior. The question is, will she have enough time? As well in lane 5, you have Eva Partridge of Widener. She now takes over second. Here we go. 2 laps to go. Up and down this 25-yard pool. Right now, Nikolsky, the Misericordia freshman, in the lead. Partridge and Allen battle for second. Right now, it's Partridge. Nikolsky flips around. She has about a 15-yard lead. Nikolsky coming to the end here of the B final. She is going to win it. In second will be Eva Partridge. And then they decided out. So Partridge out of Widener in second. So we get to find out the leaderboard here. Babarski in third. Babarski out of Arcadia. In fourth is Allen out of Arcadia. Or actually rather Martin third out of Messiah. Fourth is Allen out of Arcadia. Fifth is Babarski out of Arcadia. Sixth goes to Redding of Kings. Seventh will be Brown of Arcadia. And eighth, Yount of Misericordia. So a big win there for Nikolsky, the freshman. And while she just missed out of the A main, we get ready now for the final. So let's read you some statistics and go over this. In lane 1 will be Emma Reistel, the freshman out of Widener. This is her first ever Mack final. In lane 2, Britta Heath, the senior of Messiah. This is her 8th Mack final. This is her second in the freestyle, or rather she came in second. This is also where she came in 8th in the 50. She was a part of 800-yard free relay champions, and she also came in 10th as well last year in another category. Mollie Miller, she's in lane 3, the sophomore of FDU. This is her 4th Mack final. As a freshman, she was 3rd in the 500, 2nd in the 200, and 4th in the 1650. Nancy Ziggler, the favorite to win, the freshman of Messiah. She's not only the top seed, but she was a part of the championship 800 free relay, which happened last night. Megan Hupp, the 2-time defending champion of this event, along with the 1650. She's on her 7th Mack final. She's in lane 5. Ziggler upset her in the opening preliminary. Izzy Ramsland, the senior, in her 8th Mack final, her first time for the 500. She's usually in on the fly, but here today, this is her first 500 event. Angelina Franceschini, the freshman out of Widener, this as well as her first Mack final. And Alyssa Desposito, the senior out of Arcadia, this is her 8th Mack final. In the 500, she's finished 4th, 7th, and 6th in her career. So Hupp trying to make it 3 in a row. Ziggler shut out those plans earlier in the day in the preliminaries and made a statement. She ran a 5:10.43. Hupp 5:12.76. The record of this 500-yard freestyle is able to get on the boards is a 5:04.37, ran by Lynn Cassidy back in 1991. We'll get ready, and we are underway for the A final here of the women's 500-yard freestyle. They will take lap 1, and they'll come back around here. It looks like it is Hupp neck and neck with Ziggler for the lead. And now actually in lane 3 touching the lead is at the moment Mollie Miller of FDU. Miller was the lone FDU player in the higher split of the swimming team. Only 2 players represented them in the 500 team-wise, and she really came out and swam hard. She was a favorite as well in this event, but right now it's Ziggler with the lead, neck and neck with Mollie Miller. Hupp is a little bit farther back. She right now sits in 4th. Actually now down the 5th, as well as Emma Reistel. Talked about her 8th. Actually, I apologize, her first ever Mack final. She's trying to get a win. But as they flip back around, they took lap 5. As of the moment, it is Nancy Ziggler, the freshman out of Messiah, with the lead. Messiah, again, as we mentioned, looking for their 5th straight Mack swimming title. But here comes Mollie Miller of FDU, the sophomore, making a push. They take lap 7, 13 laps to go, and they'll flip back around to try to make it 12 to go. As of the moment, Ziggler still with the lead. Hupp looks to have gained 3rd place, but she's going to have to make up a lot of ground if she's going to want to win this event 3 years in a row. Hupp now actually back down to 4th there through the transition. Moving up to 3rd is Britta Heath. They now take lap 9, working on lap 10. Right now it's a commanding lead for the freshman Nancy Ziggler. Ziggler again, she ran a 5:10.43. She'll take halfway, 250 more yards to go, and she owns about an 8-yard lead over second place Mollie Miller. Miller right there trying to answer. It is still neck and neck for third between Hupp and Heath. I'll tell you, these swimmers, when they're close together, you have to have an idea they know where each other are. It pushes them more, and this is as close as it gets here in this women's 500-yard freestyle. Right now, it is, though, all the freshmen of Messiah. Messiah would love this. They finished first and second yesterday. They lost in the 200-yard medley to Stevenson, and they claimed first in the 800-yard freestyle relay. And here in the 500-yard freestyle, they're looking for another win, led by Ziggler. Ziggler flips back around, and the lead continues to expand, but here comes Hupp. Hupp is pushing. She is now in second as she passes Miller. 5 laps to go. Hupp is coming with a last chance effort. The question is, does she have enough time for a very strong pushing Ziggler? Hupp looking to make this 3 years in a row in this event. Does she have the stamina to push to the finish and catch Ziggler? It is now a 2-man race. There is no one else really in reach. In third place, about 18 yards back, I'd say so. Right now, I'd say 8 seconds back, is Mollie Miller. Ziggler. And here we go. 2 laps to go. Ziggler ahead of Hupp. Ziggler, the freshman, looking for her first ever win here in the 500. She was a part of the championship 800-yard relay yesterday in the freestyle, and she is charging to the line. Midway now through the pool. The freshman of Messiah looks to stay perfect, and she's won both now. Hupp will come in second. They race towards the end. It looks like Miller in third. Fourth will go to Heath. Fifth will be Francescini. And they get the rest on the board now. Rice still in sixth. The freshman, pretty solid 6th place. It's still neck and neck between that 2 and 6th. 7th as well. Ransland of Stevenson, and Desposito comes in 8th of Arcadia. So another big win for the Messiah team as the freshman stands out and wins the A final. It was a very good time as well for Ziggler. 5:06.27. Her preliminary was a 5:10.43. She was 2 seconds off of Lynn Cassidy's championship record, but more than likely a personal best as well for Ziggler. That is huge for Messiah. So now we will head to the men's 500-yard freestyle. This will be Heat 1 of 2 here in the B final. You'll have Kennedy of Messiah, the freshman, in lane 1. You have Cancino, the junior of Albright, in lane 2. Jake Booth, the freshman out of Lycoming, in lane 3. Sauter, as we are underway, the senior of Kings, in lane 4. Timmy Dando, the sophomore out of Widener, in lane 5. His teammate Sam Smith of Widener, a senior, in lane 6. Matthew Ball, a senior of Hood, in lane 7. And Jason Winters, a freshman of Mezzocordia, in lane 8. As they come through the first 50. It's right now an early lead here for Timmy Dando. Dando dominated his heat in the early portion, but came out just short towards the end. Dando a 4:51.12. And Dando would love to come up big here, but right now neck and neck with Chris Souter. Souter, a senior of Kings, his final year here in the Mack Championships. He would love to take this B final for Kings here today. As they complete lap 4, they'll touch. Right now, it is still barely Timmy Dando by about a half a second over Souter. It's sophomore versus senior. Let's see if the experience can kick in for Souter. Souter, again, he was the fastest in this as he right now pulls out to the lead, barely over Dando. Now they go neck and neck. They'll get ready to come to lap 9. Oh, man, that was as dead even as it can get. I believe he just went to Dando. But Souter out to the lead. The senior will take lap 9. They'll go 25 more yards down to reach halfway here of this 500-yard freestyle. The senior with the lead, well on track to beating that 4:49.45 that he ran earlier today. Dando, who had the lead here, basically 10 laps. As they take lap 11, is right now in second, trying to reel him back in. But right now, the senior of Kings, who is the fastest time coming in, is showing such, pulling away for the moment of Dando. It's about 2 seconds. Dando now flips over. They're about maybe a half a distance of a line apart between the head and the feet of both Dando and Souter. Souter flips back around. He completes lap 13, looking for lap 14. And right now, with a very, very solid lead, he continues to expand it here in Heat 2. Chris Souter just missed by a second being in the Heat A final. But he is showing that he is dominant here in this pool, as obviously completing lap 15, coming to lap 16, and his lead continues to expand over Timmy Dando. If Dando, a sophomore out of Widener, is going to come back, he's going to need to do it now. Dando, we saw a burst after losing the lead originally in the preliminaries early today. He came back to fight back to take the lead, but then lost it again towards the end. Dando's had a great showing right now in second place, but it's a two-man race coming to the end. But right now, as they take 2 laps to go, it's Souter who is well out in front. Souter expanding that lead. It's about maybe 6 or 7 yards now. It was 4 when they got to the stripe. You'll flip back around. Dando not even to the end yet, and the lead now well expanded. Souter looking to win the B final. The senior of Kings gets it done. Dando will come in second. In third will be Booth. So we get the rest of the finishing order. Booth, a freshman out of Lycoming. And we now get the rest here. So indeed, Souter of Kings with the win. Dando of Widener in second. Booth in third of Lycoming. Smith of Widener as well in fourth. Ball of Hood in fifth. Cancino in sixth of Albright. Seventh was Winters of Mezzocordia, and eighth in the final, or in the B final there, was Kennedy of Messiah. So we now head to the men's Heat 2 here, the men's 500 free 2019 final. Eric Bang will be in lane 1. He's a sophomore out of FDU. This is his first ever Mack final. Daniel Logan will be in lane 2. He's a sophomore Messiah. He came 5th last year, 3rd in the 200 freestyle, 8th in the 100, and this is overall his 4th Mack final. Brendan McMackey-Wood, he had a big win earlier today, the senior of Albright, in his 8th final, 5th as a sophomore, or 5th in the 50 rather, 3rd in his first year, and 11th last year. You have Teague Kohler, who is the fastest time. Culver, a junior of Albright. He's the top seed. He was second last year in the 500, 1650 and 400 as well. Again, he's the top seed in the 5, and again, there's going to be a new winner in this competition, but it's good for Culver because he came second in this competition last year. Harry Huntsberger, the sophomore of Albright, so Albright will have lanes 3 through 5. This is his second ever Mack final. He came 9th in the 500 last year, 7th in the 1650. You'll have Michael Mellison, the senior of Arcadia. This is his 7th Mack final. He came 3rd in this competition last year. Tyler Wilkinson, the freshman of Messiah. This is his first ever Mack final. And Max Rydell, the senior of Hood, he came 1st in the 500 final, or rather this is his first 500 final, his 4th overall Mack final. And Hood, he won his preliminary. I believe everyone actually in this preliminary won all of their preliminaries with the exception of one. By the way, the 2 alternates was Tyler Higgins and DJ Wheeland, sophomore of Kings, and Mezzocordia, sophomore in Wheeland. We are underway here for the 500. They'll take lap 1. It is all neck and neck for the lead. Here in Heat 2. Up next, we would have the women's 200-yard IM. That one was exciting this morning, along with the 50-yard freestyle. But first, focusing on this one has obviously major implications here for the men's. Albright, they were perfect coming into today. They won both finals yesterday. And right now, as a team, they own first and second. As in the lead right now is Culver. Culver is mentioned a junior, 4:41.27 his preliminary. His teammate, Huntsberger, who was in lane 5, 4:43.97. And his other teammate, 4:46.09 out of Mackey-Wood, the senior of Albright. And right now, as of the moment, it's Culver, Huntsberger, and Mellison all neck and neck. It's about a 5-man race, maybe 6-man race still. But it continues to be a lead here for Culver. As Teague Culver comes back around, he completed lap 7. Lanes 4 through 6, all within reach. Mackey-Wood sitting right now just outside of 4th. And actually trying to close back in. It's a 3-man race for 4th. They come for lap 9, but it continues to be Culver with the lead, followed by Huntsberger and Mellison in lane 6, the senior, trying to close it up. They continue to push forward. Again, we will crown a new champion in this event. Last year's winner graduated. The record, by the way, if anyone's wondering this event, 4:38.35 by Rick J. Sutton back in 2015. In the preliminaries, Culver ran a 4:41, which is 3 seconds off. But he's on a pretty solid pace, if I'd say so, as he now is just above halfway and looking to complete lap 12. 300 meters in. It is still a three-man race, neck and neck between both Culver, the junior of Albright, his teammate Huntsberger, and also Mellison, the senior of Arcadia. Albright, they're looking to win their third straight event here. They were the favorites to win the men's Mack championship. And they're off to a very solid pace. Lap 14 now complete. 6 laps to go. And the lead is stretching out just barely as of the moment for T. Culver. Culver again, second in the 500 last year. He would love here in his 7th Mack final to win one here today. The experience is showing, and he's being chased by a sophomore, a slight underclassman in Huntsberger, and a senior with a bunch of experience out of Arcadia. Mellison right now matching his last year total. He was 3rd in this competition, and that's where he sits right now as of the moment. And when they come back around, they will have 2 laps to go, as right now they have 3. Now it is the final 2. Culver with the lead, continuing to spread the gap over his teammate, Huntsberger. Albright looking solid with a 1-2 finish. The race for 3rd is now neck and neck. It's going to be interesting here at the end. The crowd of Albright cheering on their feet. The battle for 2nd becomes neck and neck. At the end, it's going to be Culver. I believe Huntsberger just grabbed 2nd, and he did. So Albright finishes 1 and 2. Wilkinson comes in 3rd of Messiah. And we look at the rest, Logan of Messiah as well in 4th. Rydell in 5th of Hood. In 6th, Mellison, who was in 3rd for most of it, the senior. In 7th is Mackie Wood of Albright. And 8th is Bang of FDU. So that will do it for the men's 500-yard freestyle. This will set us up for the women's 200-yard IM. So let's go over the lineup here for Heat 1, the B final. Kaylee Gardner, the sophomore Kings. She'll be in lane 1. Taylor Byers in lane 2, the senior out of Arcadia. Weatherby, the junior of Misericordia in lane 3. Abby Keating, the sophomore of Wilkes in lane 4. She's the fastest in this preliminary. Rachel Sampson, the junior of Arcadia in lane 5. Amelia Kramer, the senior of Lycoming in lane 6. And Liana Ricky, the freshman out of Albright in lane 7. And Mollie Elspeth, the sophomore of Messiah in lane 8. Tell you, the Heat's cranking up here as well. A jam-packed crowd. To get set, And we're underway. 200 yards here in the IM. They'll go up a total of 8 times up and down as they complete their first lap, heading for lap 2 to get to yard 50. Right now, it looks like the early lead here for Ricky, the freshman out of Albright. But as they head to the backstroke, it is anyone's race. And right now, Weatherby looks like she's taking the lead here as they come through the backstroke. The flip back around the last time through the backstroke. And then they will flip back around for 100 more yards. And it is now neck and neck. Weatherby lost the lead. And it looks like back in lane 7, Ricky back to the lead. But she has Sampson and Keating neck and neck with her. As it looks like now, Keating has taken the lead. Keating now barely out in front. 75 yards to go as Keating hits the end of the pool and comes back around. Keating, a sophomore of Wilkes. The only Wilkes swimmer representing here in this specific competition here between Heat 1 and Heat 2. She's neck and neck, and here we go. It's all freestyle from here. 50 yards to go, and it is neck and neck. Keating, Kramer, they have a commanding first and second as of the moment. And also in third, trying to edge their way in is Weatherby. Well, this is going to come down to the end here. 2 swimmers. But pulling ahead and getting it done will be Weatherby. Actually, rather, my apologies, not Weatherby, rather Keating. So Keating, the sophomore Wilkes, with the win. Weatherby in second is the junior of Misericordia. Third, Kramer out of Lycoming. In fourth is Sampson of Arcadia. Fifth is Byers of Arcadia. Sixth is Ricky of Albright. Seventh is Elspass, the sophomore of Messiah. And in eighth is Gardner of Kings. She is a sophomore. And now we hear the crowd pick up. Let's give you the stats here for the women's 200 final. Maylene Elder, sophomore out of Messiah. She as well was a part of the winning 800-yard relay last night. She was 9th in this competition last year. This is her 3rd overall Mack final. Grace Nikolsky, she'll be in lane 2, the junior of Misericordia. She was 5th as a freshman, 6th as a sophomore in this competition. She's also the 2-time defending champion in the 100 and 200 breast. This is her 7th Mack final. Krishna Sealy, the junior at Kings, 3rd last year, 4th as a freshman. She's a 2-time defending champion of the 400 meters, or the 400 IM. Kaylee Hollenbeck, the sophomore Messiah, she's the top seed. She was 2nd last year, the defending champion in the 100 and 200. She looks to take this victory today. Melanie Milan, the junior of Stevenson, this is her 2nd appearance in this. She was 2nd as a freshman, actually apologize, 3rd appearance. 2nd as a freshman, 4th last year, and 7th overall Mack final. But Janowski, a junior out of Widener, she's the defending champion. 3rd as a freshman, 7th Mack final. Allie Sell, junior Messiah, this is her 1st ever Mack final. And Elizabeth Sarich, the freshman of Kings, as well, her first ever Mack final. So this is going to be interesting here in this. As they get ready and get set. Hollenbeck beat Bojanowski, who's the defending champion in this event, earlier today in Heat 5 of the prelims. Overall, as we are underway, Hollenbeck in lane 4, Bojanowski in lane 6. They're ready to complete the first 25 yards. And out to an early lead is Hollenbeck. As Hollenbeck, the sophomore, looking to win. But she's neck and neck with Bojanowski, the defending champion of last year here in this event. Bojanowski wants to make it 2 years in a row. Messiah would love an A final victory here in this event. They flip back around. They'll look to complete yard 100. It's about a three-man's race between lanes 4 through 6. Right now, Hollenbeck still with the lead. In second is Malam and Bojanowski in third. This is where, though, Bojanowski's at her best as she starts to gain ground on second and close her way towards first. She may indeed have second as they flip back around. Just behind right now, actually in third, but they do flip back around. Let's see where they come up. And the lead is actually closing up. It looks like going to the lead is going to be Malam. Malam barely with the lead. And they head to the freestyle here for the end. Malam to the lead, the junior of Stevenson. Stevenson upset Messiah yesterday in the 200-yard medley relay. They came in today second in the standings. And right now, Malam, the junior, with the lead, looking to close it out over Hollenbeck. Malam will win it. Hollenbeck second. It looks like Bojanowski third, Sealy fourth. Fifth will be Mikulski. Sixth will be Sell. Seventh will be Savage. And eighth will be Elder. So how about that? Stevenson picking up their second win here today. Or I should say this weekend rather, in a final. That is huge because Messiah, they were the favorites. They do, though, manage a second place yet again. So first and second, 2 seconds, pretty solid if I say so. I actually apologize. Actually, yes, no, 2 firsts and 2 seconds. So here we go. This now is Heat 1 of the men's 200-yard IM. In lane 1, John Luxick, a junior out of Widener. Connor Feiner, the sophomore out of Widener. Daniel Parker, the freshman out of Widener. Hammaker, the junior of Kings. He's the fastest time, 2:01.44 to get on the boards. Trey Harloff, the freshman out of Wilkes in lane 5. Bondurant, the junior out of Arcadia in lane 6. Morgan, the sophomore out of Albright in lane 7. And Platil, the senior of Messiah in lane 8. And right now, out to an early lead, looks to be Bondurant, but now it's closed up. 3 swimmers, Bondurant led it there at the stripe. But now as they head to the backstroke, it is neck and neck between lane 3 and 4. And that, as of the moment, is Parker and Hammaker. Hammaker 2:01.44. Harloff was a 2:02.68. Parker 2:02.71. So all these guys separated within a second to mention there as they continue through the backstroke, and the lead going back here to Bondurant. Actually, no, he got beat at the line by Feinauer. Feinauer, though, bad transition. They'll come to 75 yards to go. And it looks like Parker has the lead, the freshman of Widener. Widener has lanes 1 through 3. And they have that freshman out there right now with the lead, but now he's lost it. They head back. It's a 4-man's race as we head to the freestyle. It looks like barely out in front is Hammaker. Here we go. 50 yards to go. Hammaker with the lead. Neck and neck for second, and with the lead is Harloff and Parker. They're neck and neck. 25 yards to go. They all touch legitimately at the same time. And pulling out to the lead is Harloff. Harloff looking to win the B final. He will get it done. Or does he? He does, just barely over Parker. Hammaker comes in third as we take a look at the scoreboard, but a big win for the freshman of Wilkes. Harloff doing a good job. A 2-minute flat and 75-second time. That was 2 seconds faster than his previous. Again, we look at the lineup here. Harloff, Parker, Hammaker. Also, Luxick in fourth. In fifth was Bondurant. Sixth, Markin. Seventh, Feinauer. And eighth, Patil. So now we head to the men's main for the 200 IM, as here we go. In lane 1, Ricky Averill, a junior of Misericordia. He was third in the 200 IM final and 6th overall last year. Sean Riddle, a senior of Albright, in lane 2. He was 8th last year, 7th overall Mack final. In lane 3 of Arcadia, Andrew Giovanni, the senior, he was 5th last year, and again, his 7th overall Mack final. TJ Dalton, the top seed, the favorite to win this event. He won the 400 IM last year. He's looking to win this. He came second in this last year, and again, we talked about he won the 400 IM as well as the 200 breaststroke. We have Grasshart in lane 5. He was third in the 200 IM final, 6th and 5th as a junior in the 50. This is his 8th final overall. Christopher Late, the sophomore of Albright, he was 9th last year. This is his 2nd ever Mack final, and also did a good job placing in the 200 Mack as well earlier on. Tyler Sansone, the first year out of Albright, the freshman, this is his first ever Mack final. Joseph Giuliano, the freshman out of Albright as well, in lane 8. He swam in the backstroke leg, which was record-setting, and we saw him exceed in that earlier today. And he also participated in the 200 medley relay last night, in which Albright set the record in the 200-yard medley. And this should set up an interesting final here in event 8 of the men's 200-yard IM. The record by Ian Lloyd, 153.58 last year here in this competition. They'll come up onto the board, and we will see Dalton. He came second in this event last year. Seemed like he was on a place of his own, 155.96 earlier today. And right now, Dalton sitting in second, as out to an early lead is Giovanni the senior of Arcadia. Dalton as well, a junior of Arcadia. I'll tell you, this is as close as it gets, but out with the early lead in lane 8 is Giuliano of Albright. Albright would love a win in this event. They've been near perfect thus far. As a matter of fact, they've won all 3 events thus far coming into this. And right now, Giuliano, who ran a 2-minute and 86-second preliminary, is out to a commanding lead as he heads through the backstroke, something he is very good at. But now it looks like going to the lead as a tough transition there for Giuliano. We'll give it back to TJ Dalton. This is TJ Dalton's fastest part in the pool, along with the freestyle. He's good at the last 2 portions, and right now he has the lead. Giuliano is falling back. Dalton looking to win his first ever 200 IM, and he'll have 50 yards to do so. Dalton has a huge lead over second place Giovanni of Arcadia, who is his teammate. 25 yards to go. Dalton looking for his first ever 200 IM. Dalton will win it. Race for second looks to be his teammate, Andre Giovanni, the senior. And how about this? Dalton came just under 1 second of the record. He gave it a good run, 154.26. 153.58 is the record, but a heck of a run for Dalton. He wins this one. Albright, for the first time, hasn't won an event. Arcadia comes up here. Giovanni comes in second. In third is Grasshart of Kings. In fourth, Late of Albright. Fifth, Riddle of Albright. Sixth, Giuliano of Albright. Seventh, Averill of Misericordia. And eighth, Sansone of Albright. And the slowest time was a 2 minute and 78. 2 minutes and 78 tenths. And I'll tell you what, it still beats the slowest time. Originally, Giuliano had a 2 minute and 86 in the preliminary. So obviously getting a bunch faster here in the finals. As we head now to what is the exciting part here of the day, the women's 50-yard freestyle. Just a couple of moments. We'll cover Heat 1 for the moment. We're going to have an award ceremony, I believe, here in a couple of moments. This is projected to start around 6:42. The record, by the way, for the women's, 23:57 last year. Katie Wingert, who owns it. But here we go. This is the Heat 1 order for the women's 50-yard freestyle. Lauren Griffith of Widener, she is a senior. She'll be in a lane 1. Schertler will be in a lane 2 of Misericordia. Hamilton in lane 3 of Arcadia. Stevenson will have their senior Burnett, who's the fastest overall, in lane 4. Brittany Pond, the senior of Messiah, will be in lane 5. Murphy of Albright will be in lane 6 as a junior. Colby Steen will be in lane 7 as Stevenson. 25:44 was her preliminary. And Danielle Pong, the sophomore of Hood, will round out the 8 for Heat number 1 as they do the ceremonies here for the first events of the women's 500 and men's 500. And we'll go back and check. and make sure, obviously, no disqualifications. I actually think through the individuals thus far, we went through pretty clean, if I'd say so. But again, if you're wondering how the women's 500 free finals ended, this is your final overall. Your top 8 in the A final. Desposito is 8th. Izzy Ramland of Stevenson, a senior, finished 7th. Emma Reistel finished 6th, is the freshman. Angelina Fraschini, the freshman out of Widener as well, came in 5th. Britta Heath, the senior Messiah, in 4th. The sophomore of FDU, Mollie Miller, came in 3rd. Megan Hupp, the two-time defending champion, no longer of this event, the junior of Arcadia, came in 2nd. And the freshman of Messiah, Nancy Ziggler, gets her first ever win in this event. And for Ziggler, she, was the top seed again coming today. She was a part of the 800 championship freestyle relay last night. So 2-2 is Ziggler, and off to a very solid start for her.
He's good. There's no race going on right now.
Messiah off to a great start in the women's. So they're going to do the men's 500 award ceremony here in a moment. So we'll go through the final order here for event 6 in the top 8. Max Rydell, the senior of Hood, will come in 8th place with the final time of 4:48.83. Eric Bang will come in 7th, the sophomore of FDU, with a 4:48.41. Tyler Wilkinson, the freshman of Messiah, will come in 6th with a 4:47.72. Daniel Logan, the sophomore Messiah, will come in 5th, 4:46.96. Michael Melson will come in 4th, the senior of Arcadia, 4:46.59. Brendan Mackey Wood will come in 3rd, the senior of Albright, 4:46.09. Harry Huntsberger, the sophomore of Albright, will come in 2nd, 4:43.97. And T. Culver comes away with the victory, the junior of Albright, 4:41.27. Well over a 2-second victory. And Albright, for the record, came in positions 1 through 3 in this event. Arcadia, the second highest ranking team, in position 4. And I'll tell you, it's relatively huge. A big win today in the men's 500-yard preliminary for T. Culver. Culver, again, we talked about it. Last year for Culver in the 500, came in 2nd. And Culver wanted to win this more than anything, and he did do so. A great performance from him today. He also came 2nd in the 1650 and 400 IM as well. And you got to remember, for Culver, this was his 7th Mack final ever here in the Mack swimming tournament. So obviously that experience also really paid off, but a big win for him. So we'll get ready here for a minute. We gave you the lineup for Heat 1 for the women's 50-yard freestyle. As they get ready, we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the Mack Swimming Championships here in York, Pennsylvania, here at the York YMCA. Stick right with us. And welcome back to the 2019 Mack Swimming Championships. I'm Tim Moore. And we will get ready for Heat 1 of 2 here for the women's 50-yard freestyle. So the fastest time in this, well, was actually a dead tie. Jules Burnett, 25:20, alongside Brittany Pond, who as well set a 25:20. They're both in lane 4 and 5. Burnett of Stevenson, a senior, and Brittany Pond, a senior out of Messiah, who will be in lane 5. They are the two favorites to win this heat. Set, and we are underway. Right now, looks to be an early lead for Claire Hamilton. But they turn back around, and I mean, this is as neck and neck. This is why it's exciting. The crowd is cheering, but at the end, it's going to be one winner. And the winner of Heat 2 is going to be Murphy of Albright. Murphy with the win. Griffith in second, out of Widener. In third is Pond. Fourth comes Burnett. Fifth will be Schertzer. Sixth, Hamilton. Seventh, Steen. And eighth, Pond. Or rather, Schertler, my apologies, in fifth. So now this will set the women's 50 free Heat 2 lineup here for the main event of this event. Again, this is event 9 here right now. So here are your 8. Branahan Solomon, a senior of Hood. This is her first 50 free final. She's finaled all 3 years in a row in the 100 and 200 back. Sia McCabe, sophomore of Messiah. This is her first real attempt in being in the top 8 of this event. She was 11th in it last year. This is her second overall Mack final. Emily Decker, the freshman of Messiah. This is her first ever Mack final. Casey Cotton, the senior of Messiah. She came first and in this event. She also is a 3-time individual relay, as she won she's won 12 relay championships, but also 3-time individual champion. She's the top seed. Kaylin Augustine, the senior of Widener, 9th last year in this event. Her first 50 final, and she finaled in the 100 and 200 free all 3 years as well. Madison McKay, a sophomore of Arcadia. She finaled last year in the 100 free. Kara Zortman, sophomore of Lycoming. This is her first ever Mack final. And McKenna Zeller, the sophomore of Lycoming, finaled in the 100 and 200 yard back last year, placing second in the 200. Obviously, here in the women's, Casey Cotton, who won this event back in 2017, looking for her second. She came second last year. She would love to win this thing for Messiah. Messiah owns lanes 2 through 5. McCabe, Decker, and Cotton, sophomore, freshman, and senior. Lycoming owns lanes 7 and 8 for both their sophomores, Zortman and Zeller. Arcadia has lane 6 with McKay, and Hood in lane 1 with Hans Solomon. Lane 5, Augustine of Widener, the senior. 24:30 was the time to beat in the preliminaries, as Cotton set the tone. Augustine was the second fastest with a 24:66, but similar of the men's, Aaron Green of Widener, Casey Cotton was on a place of her own this morning. They get set, and we are underway. Looked like a little bit of a slow start for Casey Cotton, but she looks to answer. She is neck and neck right now with Emily Decker for the lead. Cotton looking for her second. She is neck and neck with Decker, but it looks like it's going to be Cotton who will get it. Cotton will win. And man, that was really close for second. I believe Decker got it. So Cotton, the senior, gets her second ever victory here in the women's 50-yard freestyle. Her first since 2017. She continues to get the job done for Messiah. Decker as well, Messiah came in second. In third was Augustine of Widener. Fourth was McKay of Arcadia. Fifth was Zeller of Lycoming. Sixth, actually we have a tie for fifth, Hans Solomon as well of Hood in fifth. Seventh was McCabe, and eighth will go to Zortzman of Lycoming. So here is now heat one for the men's 50-yard freestyle. In lane one will be the freshman Joey Antlock of Wilkes. In lane two, Malik Williams, junior of Albright. Jared Byrne of Wilkes in lane three, he's a sophomore. Chamberlain will be in lane four, the senior of Albright, 21:81 was his time. In lane five will be Hyatt, Tristan Hyatt, the junior of Arcadia. Of Widener University will be Paolo Cortez in lane six, Cristione, the junior Kings in lane seven, and Nick Martino, the sophomore of Wilkes in lane eight. And we'll have them go down and set, and we are underway. Heat one of two of the men's 50-yard freestyle. And right now setting the tone is Chamberlain, who has the lead, but he's being caught. Chamberlain can't keep it for the moment. It's going to be close at the line. Who is it going to be? At the end of it all, it's going to be Hyatt, who comes away with the victory of Arcadia. Chamberlain comes in second. And I'll tell you, that was mighty close at the end for everything else. But Byrne actually comes in second. Chamberlain third. Dione fourth. Fifth is Cortez. Sixth, Williams. Seventh will be Martino. And eighth, Antolowski. But what a big win there for Cortez at the end. He was behind, but he pushed forward there towards the end of that 50-yard freestyle, giving it all he can as a junior out of Arcadia. And they managed to surpass Wilkes' Jared Byrne and Chamberlain, who must have had something happen, of Albright, because he fell from first to third in the middle portion of the pool. And here now is the men's 50-yard final. Albright fans are cheering like crazy here. Here is your final. Hunter Page, the junior of Albright, anchored a record-setting 200-yard medley relay last night. He was also fourth as a freshman in the 50. Callan Jordan, a senior of Lycoming. This is his sixth ever Mack final. First in the 50 free, rest in the back. Aiden Bergen, a junior of Misericordia, fourth last year in this event. This is his fourth Mack final. Aaron Green, the top seed and the favorite to win this. He's a senior of Widener, seven-time individual champion, defending in this event. Never finished worse than second in individual events in his career. Martin Bowden will be in lane 5. He's a junior as well from Widener. This is his first 50 free. He set a new conference record in the 200 free, and he led off the 800-yard relay last night. And sixth, Mark Creedy, the junior of Arcadia, third in the 50 final last year. Fifth as a freshman, sixth last year. This is his third 50th final overall, fifth as a freshman. Also, 6th in the Mack final overall in the breaststroke. In lane 7, Dan Weeks, the senior at Kings. This is his 3rd final in the 50, notably anchored the Monarchs 200-yard winning medley relay last year. And finally in lane 8, Ridge Hager, a sophomore Messiah. This is his first 53 final and his 4th overall finals appearance. And I'll say this, Aaron Green was 2/10 off the Mack championship record. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out here today. Green is just on another level. It seems in the pool he was flying this morning. He looks for his 8th individual championship. They will have them set. Green would love to stand alone and get number 8. The senior of Widener, this is his last attempt at the 50. We're underway and Green is already out in front. Green is pulling away already. He'll get to the end, but Green has about a 3/10 of a second lead. He'll flip back around. Green is in a land of his own, continuing to push. It is now 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths. Now a full second. Green will win. 20:37. He ties the men's 2017 record in the Mack Championships. Ian Gaynor set it in 2017. But man, I'll tell you what, he would have beaten the INVT, the invite record, with a 20:43, and he also would have passed the 20:66 B cut. But he ties Ian Gaynor's record and wins his 8th individual championship. 2nd is Bowden. 3rd is going to be Bergen. 4th is Preedy. 5th Jordan. 6th Page. 7th Hager. And 8th Weeks. So I believe, again, we're going to go with the ceremony now for the 200-yard IM. So your next event now will go back to relays. You'll have the women's 200-yard relay first. We'll tell you who will be in the pool for Hood, as they will have the first chance here, along with Wilkes, FDU, and we'll find out who the other one is as well in just a moment. I believe it is Lebanon Valley. Hood, 149.21 in their preliminary. They'll have Ann Coleman, a freshman, to start off. Kate Sanborn, the junior, in the 2nd position. Danielle Pong, the sophomore, will go 3rd. And Brian Hand-Solomon, who we just talked about in the women's 50-yard freestyle final, will finish out the 200-yard freestyle relay for Hood. For Wilkes, we don't have a set lineup yet, but they set a 146.71. Of Lebanon Valley, Alexis Morris, the sophomore, will go for them. Caitlin Welch, the sophomore, in lane 5 as they're going through the ceremonies here for the 200-yard IM of women's. So as you look at the 200-yard women's IM winners, we'll go over the official finishing results for the women's IM really quick and final times, and then we'll give you the rest of the heat. So, in the A final, Maylene Elder, the sophomore Messiah, 2:14.47 in her prelims. The finals, 2:15.38. Elizabeth Savage, 2:15.25. She, the freshman of Kings, comes in 7th. Allie Sell, the junior Messiah, comes in 6th, 2:14.05. Grace Nikolsky, 2:13.11. will be in 5th. Apologize. Sell in 6th. Krishna Sealy, 2:10.45 in 4th. 300ths behind Bujanowski, Jill Bujanowski, the junior of Widener, 2:10.42. Kaylee Hollenbach, the sophomore Messiah, 2:09.17, and with a 2-second victory, Melanie Malam, the junior of Stevenson, giving them their second victory here and earning 20 points with a 2:07.67. Now they get ready to honor the men's 200 victory as well in the IM. Why don't we give you that finishing result as well? Tyler Sansone, the freshman out of Albright, he ran a 2-minute and 78 tenths of a second time to come in 8th. Ricky Averill came in 7th, 2 minutes and 5 hundredths of a second for 7th. Joseph Giuliano, who came off to a very good start, ended up finishing in 6th. A 1:59.17, by the way, that's 13 points more for Albright. Sean Riddle comes in 5th, the senior, with a 1:08.80. Christopher Late, the sophomore of Albright, 1:58.23. That's good enough for 4th and 15 more points. Bryce Grosshart, 1:57.61, senior at Kings, comes in 3rd. In Arcadia, they ended up sweeping the top 2. Andrew Giovanni, 1:57.16. That was good enough for 2nd, the senior of Arcadia. But T.J. Dalton dominated this event, won by over 3 seconds, beat his preliminary time by a full second, earns 20 points for Arcadia, and the junior, the official victor as they continue to go through the final ceremony for that. So now we'll head back and give you the rest of the lineup for Lebanon Valley. So we mentioned Alexis Morris, Caitlin Welch. You have Erica Schell and Courtney Bestock for Lebanon Valley. For FDU, by the way, Lebanon 148.64. Again, Wilkes, who doesn't have a set lineup at the moment, 1 minute, 46 seconds, and 71 tenths, will be in the lane to beat. FDU 158.59 was their preliminary. Gianna Rito, the freshman. Anna Hess, the freshman. Monroe McLaren, the freshman. And Lindsay Nowak, the sophomore, the most experienced there in the freestyle, will round it out for FDU. And the rest of the teams that will participate, we don't have set lineups, but the teams that will participate in the Heat 2 of the finals, it'll be Albright, Misericordia, Arcadia, Messiah, Widener, Kings, Lycoming, and Stevenson. Stevenson stunned Messiah through 2 events thus far. I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if they can come out and make a big push here in this women's 200-yard freestyle relay. But we'll get that ready in a moment. Stick right with us. You're watching the Mack Swimming Championships. I believe we're going to have one more ceremony here in a couple of seconds. But again, stick right with us for that. Welcome back to the Mack 2019 Swimming Championships. We're going to go back to a commercial break in just a moment. We're going to have about a 20-minute session. We just also want to note, obviously, the lineups won't be 100% official until things get going for this women's 200-yard freestyle relay, and the same thing for men's. We only have official lineups for about 3 teams of each. But it should be interesting here again. For women, Stevenson pulled off with the victory in the 200-yard medley. The freestyle, though, it's obviously a different competition. Messiah, the favorite to win it, they ran a 139.24 as a team in the 200-yard freestyle relay. And as for the men's, obviously Arcadia very fast yesterday. They right now sit in second. Albright, the favorite to win the Mack championship for their eighth time in the last 9 seasons. They'll be in lane 6. But Widener, they have the fastest preliminary time, 124.83. So we'll be interested to see what will happen there. And those will be your final 2 events, event 11 and 12 here tonight, before we come back for more preliminaries tomorrow morning. If you're wondering what tomorrow's schedule looks like, you happen to not be looking at the Mack Championship website and up to date. Tomorrow morning will be session 4 at 10 a.m. We'll have the women's 400 IM preliminaries along with the men's. We'll have the women's and men's 100 fly preliminaries, the women's 200 free preliminaries along with the men's, the women's and men's 100-yard breast preliminaries, and the women's and men's 100-yard back preliminaries. So that would be that for the preliminaries in the morning. That'll be all 9 events. And then the main events in the finals tomorrow night at 6 p.m., the women's 400 IM finals along with the men's. The women's and men's 100 fly finals will all be participated as well, as it's going to be the same events as preliminaries in the mornings. Women's and men's 200 free finals, the women's and men's 100 breast, and also women's and men's 100 back finals. And then, to round out the night, we will have the women's 400-yard medley relay along with the men's 400-yard medley relay. And that would be about 11 events tomorrow as well, but it's going to be most certainly entertaining. But as we head through the intermission, it's going to be a very, very good end here in the women's 200-yard freestyle and the men's 200-yard freestyle. I've been Tim Moore. Stick right with us. You're watching the Mack Swimming Championships here on YouTube. him back to the Mack Swimming Championships as we get ready for the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. So we talked about the 4 teams that would be in this Heat 1. We'll go over the lineups one more time if you weren't here before the 20-minute intermission. Hood will be in lane 3. They'll have Ann Coleman, Kate Sanborn, a junior, Coleman, a freshman, Danielle Pong, the sophomore, and Brianna Hans-Solomon in that 4th spot. Hans-Solomon just participated in the 50-yard freestyles. I have him come up. Wilkes doesn't have a set lineup. They will be in lane 4. Lebanon Valley, Alexis Morris, Caitlin Welch. As we are underway, Erica Schell and Courtney Betsock, all of them sophomores. And for FDU, Gianna Rito, freshman, Anna Hess, a freshman, Monroe McLaren, a freshman, and also Lindsay Nowak, the sophomore for FDU. As right now, Hood is out to an early lead. Their preliminary time was a 1:49.21. Sanborn will come into the pool and try to extend the lead. 1:46.71 was the time for Wilkes. They trail just behind here in the women's 200-yard freestyle here in Heat 2. But it's still relatively close between both Wilkes and Hood. Hood will transition over, and I believe Pong now will jump in. The sophomore looks to try to maintain this lead for Hood. And you have one of your fastest 50-yard swimmers to end it out for Hood. Hans-Solomon, and I remind you, she was in that women's Heat 2 final in lane 1 for Hood. Her preliminary was a 25-13, and this one's going to be huge. Hans-Solomon jumps out to a big lead. Let's see what happens here at the end. Right now it is a lead for Hood. Wilkes close battling in second along with Lebanon Valley. As they come to the end here, it's going to be Hood that's more than likely and will take the victory. As Hans-Solomon 25.08 there at the end. In second in the relay will end up being Lebanon Valley. Actually, we have a dead tie for second to be exact. 1:45.59 for both Lebanon Valley and Wilkes. And FDU will come in 4th there at the end. We'll get the final time here in just a moment. 2 minutes and 3/10 of a second. So now Heat 1, we don't have any set rosters for you, unfortunately, but here is Heat 2 of the finals. Albright will be in lane 1 here for the women's. You'll have Misericordia in lane 2. You'll have Arcadia in lane 3. Messiah, they will be in lane 4. Whitner University will be in lane 5. King's College in lane 6. Lycoming will be in lane 7, and Stevenson, who's come to the surprise to win 2 events here today and currently I believe still sits in second place, just barely, has lane 8. And I'll tell you, lane 8's been, I believe, a magical number for Stevenson, because if I'm 100% correct, and I could be wrong, the 2 victories for Stevenson today all came, or today and yesterday rather, came in lane 8. We'll get clarification on that. Actually, I apologize. Malam won. She was lane 5. The other one was, though, lane 8 yesterday in the medley, the 200-yard medley. But here we go. Messiah looking to keep what's been a strong day. They haven't finished lower than second today at all. And in this entire 3 sessions thus far, again, they're the favorite to win the Mack Championships. Looking for 5 in a row, and they will be in lane 4 in the middle section of your screen. What's going to be exciting, though, as the Albright fans cheer right next to our broadcast booth. Big fan base, obviously, here for the men's and women's swimming team. They have lane 1. The slowest time of this preliminary was by Stevenson, 1:45.34, but don't let that fool you, because the way they came out yesterday in the 200-yard relay medley, anything could happen here in this 200-yard freestyle. They will get up, get set, and we're underway. Looks like on the early jump and lead, it's right now Messiah, or Misericordia rather, but Messiah taking it back as they head through the first 50 yards. Now to the lead. It's Messiah actually still controlling it in lane 4, but a challenger in lane 5 out of Widner. They will go to the next portion of the freestyle now, 75 yards in, but it's still Messiah owning the lead. They set the tempo with a 1:39.24. A 1:40.31, just over a second was Widner behind. They're neck and neck for the lead, but Widener, while they're trying to close it in right now, Messiah still has it. A deep dive there. That one was long, and that's going to really help Messiah out here on the freestyle. They are pushing forward. Swimmer in the orange trunks for Messiah there in lane 4. Continuing to hold it, but I'll tell you what, Widner is fighting back. It is really a 2 women's race. Widner's going to have the lead going into the final portion. It is anyone's race here at the end. Messiah pushing back to the front. Over Widner barely. They'll flip around. Who is going to win? Messiah, they still have the lead. Just barely cheering on their team of Widner. But Messiah will come to a victory here in Heat 2. Widner second. It'll be third for Arcadia. It'll be fourth for Misericordia. It'll end up being fifth for Kings, sixth for Stevenson, seventh for Lycoming, and eighth for Albright. So now we'll get ready for the men's 200-yard freestyle final in the relay portion. By the way, the record was set 1:22.85 for this men's back in 2017 by Widener University. They had Gaynor, Platt, Bowden, and Green all together, and we saw Green already today having a wonderful performance in which he tied the men's 50-yard Mack championship record with a 20:37. And I would 100% assume you'll see Green back in this again today for Widener. But let's take a look first for Hood. In lane 3, you'll have Max Radell, Brooks Anderson, Cameron King, and John Foley. We're talking 2 freshmen, a sophomore, and senior out of Rydell. Up Lebanon Valley, you have Noah Michio, who will go second, Kurt Harnish, Charlie Bestjack, and Kyle Kingsbury as they get ready set on the line. And we're underway. And in lane 5, the final lane, only 3 here in this, you'll have Eric Bang, the sophomore, Joshua Atkins, the sophomore, the freshman Anthony Musciati, and Chris Kunka, the freshman, in lane 5. FDU battling right now with Hood as Rydell barely holding on to the lead over Bang. They'll switch back around. Now into the pool will be Anderson and Atkins. Atkins trying to close the gap for FDU, but right now Anderson continuing to maintain the lead. Lebanon Valley pretty far back. It looks like, unfortunately, they're out of this. They set the fastest time in this first preliminary. But right now it's commanding. Hood really coming out strong as they right now have Cameron King, the sophomore, out there in the pool. They'll come to compete yards 150 and do their final transitions. Musciati trying to cut down the distance, but it may be too far, too late. Here we go. Foley gets to the end. He'll turn it around. The freshman looks to end it out for Hood, while the freshman for FDU, Kuka, tries to find everything in him to come back. But at the end of the day, in this first heat, it'll be Hood that takes the victory. FDU will come in second, and Lebanon Valley, who tried to chase down FDU there in the late going for second, Lebanon Valley will come in third. Final times, 1:31:48. It's 9 seconds off the record for Hood. As mentioned, FDU second and Lebanon Valley in third, 1:37:07 and 1:38:83 for Lebanon Valley. So now, Heat 2, your final event here tonight. In lane 1 will be Messiah College. In lane 2, you will have Misericordia. In lane 3, Arcadia. In lane 4, the fastest here in this 200-yard freestyle, led by senior Aaron Green, you have Widener University. In lane 5, Kings will be there with a 1:27.87. They were the second fastest time. Albright in lane 6, 1:28.29. Wilkes will be in lane 7, 1:29.72. And rounding out the 8s will be Lycoming with a 1:32.91 in preliminaries. Lycoming the slowest of the 8, but they were faster than the other 3. And while the 1:31 right now stands over Lycoming by over 1 second for Hood, Lycoming looking to obviously make a statement here in this 200-yard freestyle relay. Again, this is our final event of the night here. Albright fans cheering again. Albright in lane 6. Heavy crowd here for Albright, but it's also a heavy crowd all around. Messiah fans as well cheering, as well as Widner fans, as they have the preferred lane to be in to resemble that they are indeed the fastest coming into this via preliminary. As they announce every team, it's going to be interesting. This is going to be your main event for tonight. As they step up and get ready, who will win the Mack Championships 200-yard freestyle. They head out now. Early lead right now for lane 4 of Widener. Or Widener, rather. Widener with an early lead, and look at the push led by Green. Green, the first one in the pool, surprisingly for Widener. He comes out hot as the sun, as you would say, because he set the tempo early and gave Widener a pretty big lead. Widener continuing to expand. They have a challenger in lane 6, and that's Albright. Albright fans are cheering. They're near first, but it's going to come down to these last 2 transitions. It is a 4-man's race. In 5th is Kings. In lane 2 as well, or lane 3 rather, you have Arcadia coming to it. Albright takes the lead. Neck and neck. The crowd is going crazy here. It's going to come down to the end. Widener, Widener, and Albright. Who will win it? They flip back around for the final time. It looks to be Albright, just ahead of Widener. They are chugging, just ahead. It's gonna be White. Oh no, Albright. Albright just did it. They got it done over Widener, and they will take it here. What a finish. Thought Albright Widener got the hand in just before, but Albright takes the victory, 125-23. In second is Widener, 125-25. That's 200 slower. Kings comes in third, 126.05. You have Arcadia fourth, 126.19. Fifth will be Messiah, 127.34. Sixth will be Mezzocordia 127.55. You have Wilkes in 7th, 128.14, and in 8th will be Lycoming 132.74. So what a way to end it here tonight. By the way, that's only session 3. We still have a bunch to go here over the next 2 days. And I'll tell you what, these swimmers have really come out. Again, we have 7 sessions. As right now we're going to have the 50 free awards presented here right now. And we shall give you the final results first for the women's. So, for the women's, the final will look like this in position in finishing order. Kara Zortman will finish 8th of Lycoming. She's a sophomore with a 25.25 in the finals. She earned 11 points. Nasia McCabe earned 12 points. The sophomore Messiah, 25.15. The other sophomore of Lycoming, McKenna Zeller, she comes in 5th, tied for 5th, in fact. She gets 13.5. Branahan Solomon will also get 13.5 for their 25.14 performance, in which she finishes in 5th. Madison McKay comes in 4th for Arcadia, the sophomore, 24.98. Caitlin Augustine, senior Widener, 24.65. Emily Decker, 24.43. She earned 17 points as well for Messiah. And the winner, Casey Cotton, earns 20 points, 24.30 for Cotton. And again, you know, we talked about it for Cotton. She won this event back in 2017. She came second last year, but she will officially earn her second victory here today in the women's 50-yard, the 50-yard freestyle. As again, they have everyone coming onto the podium. But I'll tell you what, that was a good 50-yard race, a lot of excitement. And it even ended out there in the 200-yard freestyle relay. A lot of excitement. It was neck and neck, and that's what you want. Good competitive swimming here in the Mack Swimming Championships, and that's what we saw here today. So through now event 9, or actually that would have been event 9. Let's see if we can get you the updated standings for women's through event 11. So after event 11, in which we'll have the award ceremony tomorrow, Messiah has 253 points in a massive lead over Widener. 165 points, Widener sits in second. Arcadia, they're in third right now with 156 points. Stevenson in fourth, 129 points. They also earned their second victory here this weekend. Mezzocordia in fifth, 123. Kings in sixth, 117. In seventh will be Lycoming. They have 100.5 points. It's double digits for the rest. In eighth, Albright, 82 points. Ninth, Wilkes, 56. Hood with 54.5 in 10th. FDU Florham with 48 in 11. And Lebanon Valley with 41 as they sit in 12th. So now they do the men's awards, and let's give you that men's 50 free final official finishing results. Dan Weeks, the senior out of Kings, will come in eighth, 21.93. Ridge Hager, 21.88, the sophomore of Messiah. Hunter Page of Albright, the junior, 21.77. Colin Jordan, the senior of Lycoming, 21.69. That's good enough for fifth. Mark Preedy, 21.38. That's fourth for the junior of Arcadia. You have Aiden Bergen, the junior Mezzocordia, 21.26. That's third place, 16 points earned for Miz. Martin Bowden the junior of Widener, comes in second. Widener, by the way, finishing first and second, 21-13. And obviously Aaron Green, we talked about him. He now officially earns his 8th individual champion. Obviously, he was the defending champion in this event, but earns number 8, tying the Mack championship record with a 20-37. So let's give you now the official points coming in to tomorrow for not only the finals, but the preliminaries. So Albright, they own the standings lead. They have 239 points for the men's. Arcadia has 180. Widener's in third with 150. Kings with 142 in fourth. Messiah in fifth with 131. Wilkes will be in sixth with 97. Mezzocordia rather, in seventh with Wilkes in sixth. Mezzocordia in seventh with 86. Hood in eighth with 82. Lycoming in ninth with 78. FDU Forum in 10th with 59. And 11th will be Lebanon Valley with 40 points. So, with that being said, that'll do it here for coverage of Session 3 of the Mack Swimming Championships. As well, we're actually trying to figure out what's going on here. Looks like we're going to actually have a trial, so no, this won't be the end of it. We'll have one more. So we will have a trial here. We'll find out what it is for here in a moment. We are underway here in the Mack Swimming Championship trial. You have Wayland, who's in the pool for Mezzocordia. The men's record's 4:38.35 as he continues to push through here. Obviously no one else in the pool for him, so we will see how he will go and see what he can do. Mezzocordia fans really cheering him on here, trying to see if he can set a very good time here in the trial. We had a trial earlier in the day as well, and we unfortunately didn't have that, as Schaefer of Albright set a very fast time getting ready for tomorrow, but this time trial relatively huge here for Wayland. Wayland continuing through, 1 minute and 7 seconds in. Again, the record is 4:38.35, but Wayland, who's in lane 4, continuing to set a pretty solid pace, if I'd say so. Schaefer set a really good pace as well earlier on the day, but Wayland continuing to get it done here as of the moment. 1:37 left. I believe Wayland could be pushing for the 500 freestyle, if that's what I'm understanding, which is why they have him going. As a matter of fact, DJ Wayland in Mezzocordia, he was an alternate. His best time was a 5:65 in the qualification round. Right now, he's doing a pretty good job here in the men's 500-yard freestyle. He's doing a good job. And it makes sense why they have the alternate going. Not sure what necessarily ended up happening. Perhaps maybe disqualification that we didn't see for the alternate to come in, but we will find out that here in a moment. Wayland continuing to go. We will see here. I don't believe, no, there was no DQ. So perhaps Wayland trying to work his way into the B final. He had the 18th fastest time, 5 minutes and 6/10 of a second, 6.5 tenths of a second, in fact. For Wayland, he was just outside, 4:58.36 for Mason Kennedy. But he was just outside that top 16. Again, the second alternate for this individual event. As Wayland continuing to push, 3:16 in. Let's see, as he's over halfway, obviously. Let's see what lap it'll be as he's coming to lap 15. So Wayland, he's putting up a pretty good time. The winning time overall was a 4:42. Wayland's going to have to do some work to get there. He'll have 4 laps to go when he touches the wall again to flip back over. Right now, it's going to be very hard. He's going to be about 20 or so seconds off that leading pace, but he's doing a good job as he comes to get 3 to go. And the Mezzocordia fans are here. Most of the fans have cleared out for the most part, but the Mezzocordia fans cheering for Wayland. Wayland, again, a sophomore. And I'll tell you what, got to feel good for the sophomore to, get that energy level, be really excited. Wayland, swam very well today. 2 laps to go for Wayland. 4:27 when he touches. He should be right around that 5-minute mark. Let's see. He'll touch the other end right here. It's a 4:42. That would have been the pace for victory. Let's see if he can beat that 5. It's going to be close as he comes around halfway. 4:50. 4:51. Let's see if he can get into the top 16. He's at the end. 4:50. Oh, well, maybe. Let's see. The clock's still going. Let's see. Official time 4:57.53. And if I'm 100% right, that should put him within the top 16. That should put him right now 16th overall. 4:56.02 would have been 15th place. So he would move up essentially into the top 16. So a good job there by Wayland to not only beat his time, but come out there in the ending. But that'll do it here from the Mack Swimming Championships, officially here for today. We'll be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow for Session 4's preliminaries. And then at 6 p.m. we'll have a bunch of finals for you all. But I've been Tim Moore, and again, you've been watching the Mack Swimming Championships. Have a good night, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.